Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk everything animation here, including Miraculous Ladybug, which we'll be getting into right now. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by April Collins.
Hello.
And Sarah Dolman.
Hi.
Today we're talking Frozer, the latest episode of Miraculous Ladybug, aka the Ice Skater. We're very excited to get into this very eventful episode of Ladybug. The hits keep coming here with a lot to talk about, a lot of episodes in a row. What is the show like? Tons of episodes coming out. I don't know what's happening. We talked.
Is this a real show? I'm confused.
I ask myself that sometimes.
Yeah, like airs regularly. Who knew? Yeah. We talked Maledictator recently and the entire Queensbee arc and all that at overlyanimated.com. Yeah, we cover every new episode of Ladybug. Find us there. On iTunes, search for Ladybug Overly Animated, or on YouTube, youtube.com/overlyanimated. Subscribe any of those places and you will not miss any of our future podcasts. Delaney will be back for the finale podcast. She's fine. She's just busy. So concerned people, Delaney will be back later. Okay. But Frozer, we are covering the French version, actually, of this episode, the original French version. Yeah. It's the first one in like 10 podcasts. I've also seen the English dub, though, so we can compare and contrast a little bit. There's only really one place where we need to talk about the English dub. Other than that, we're going to be referencing the French one. Yeah, the Miraculous Subs version of the French version of Frozer. So yes, let's get into this episode. Crazy one, April. Please summarize your reactions to Frozer.
Okay, luckily I wrote a summary. But so overall, I think this was another great episode for this season. It toyed with my emotions. Like all of like the drama stuff was just like so perfect, and I loved it. We even got some like super great like Hawkmoth lines. And you know that I love him. This was another episode where I literally, like, at one point was just laying on my floor because I had to take, like, a 10-minute break in the middle of it because it wasn't even in the middle. It was, like, 6 minutes in. I had, like, some points that just kind of, like, fell short for me. And I'm, like, well, like, certain things with, like, the villain. But we can get into more of that later. But this episode made me kind of like think that it was like very like season 1-esque, but it was totally different, if that kind of makes sense. But I still like really, really enjoyed it. Plok is my hero and Kagami is my girl. I love them so much in this episode. So I was super excited to see not just her, but also Luka, because I thought they were both dead. And that we were going to have to use Miraculouses to bring them back to life.
Oh, no.
But no, here they were. And so I screamed each time, like out loud, I screamed whenever they came on screen. And I was like, yeah, look at you.
Just for existing? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, because we like get all of these random like characters who like become villains and do this and that. And then, like, they're there for an episode, and then they just disappear, and we don't ever see them again. And that's kind of like how I felt was going to be the case with like Luka and Kagami. But no, they came back in the same episode nonetheless. And the whole date concept was great, and going on a double date.
Yes. Okay, April. Did you say Plog was your hero? Did you say that?
Yes.
Why?
He had one of my favorite lines in this whole
He's comparing girls to cheese?
It wasn't even that. It's like
That's all he said. What else did he say?
No, because there's
he said one thing in the bathroom, is that it?
Yeah, and he said, you're supposed to be in love with Ladybug, but then you ditch Kagami to run after Marinette, and I was like, this quote is my life right now.
Yeah, I like Plog referencing all three love interests. And also, he knows, too, so he's like a son of...
Exactly!
He's trying to hint at it.
Exactly, that's why he's my hero, because I was like, yes, put it in Adrian's face for me, please. And then, like, Adrian just killed it, and he's like, run after Marinette? No, she's just a friend. Whatever, you're a liar, Adrian.
Okay. We brought that Plog line up very early, but that was, I guess, a highlight. Okay, Sarah, what are your Frozer reactions?
My Frozer reactions. Well, Dylan, this episode, it made me feel quite so many feelings. It played with my emotions time and time again. It took my heart and toyed with it like it was child's play, just like how ice skating is after Adrian takes his lessons from Philippe. And it was one fake out after the next, and I just couldn't handle it. I don't know how I will ever trust again. But I probably will end up trusting this show again because I love it and this episode is great.
Okay, yeah. I feel like that was Delaney after like the second identity fake out. She was like, I'm never trusting the show again. So that's you.
I have like slightly more serious thoughts too.
So this is Frozer? Serious?
What?
What could you possibly seriously take away from this episode, Sarah?
No, I know. I mean, I thought it was great because it played with my emotions so hard. I mean, I'm bound to love any episode with figure skating, but, you know, I also loved having Kagami come back. A little less love for Luka, which I'm sure we will get to.
How dare you?
But it was
this
just
is a Luka fan club, okay?
Hey, April, I'm pretty sure you were anti-Luka in past podcasts. I do think you can turn around like that.
Yeah, what is this heel turn, April?
We'll get back to that. Okay, anyway, Sarah, yes.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, it was a roller coaster. I was along for the ride.
Okay, yeah, that's a good description. This is the episode that you thought that season 2 would, when we heard the concept of like Luka and Kagami existing, you're like, okay, this is what this entire season is going to be about. It's going to be this fake out romance drama type stuff with them as their love interests that aren't Marinette and Adrian, like that aren't each other. And I am shocked that it is only one episode of the season that we got this over the top melodramatic romance nonsense with Kagami and Luka. Like really, I feel like the show has displayed such restraint this season, not doing Frozer the whole time. Really, I mean, it took us until the end to get here, mainly because the episode took forever to make, I guess. But like, it's a shocking, given that we've seen this, that we didn't do more of this. I actually think Frozer's a really good episode. It's not immediately apparent whether this episode is like good or not, just because you react to all the crazy melodrama in the episode, and that's like first viewing reactions and stuff. But I really enjoy that stuff, and it was great in the episode. I thought it was all really well done. And also the episode, I think, is just a good start to finish. I think that the villain stuff is surprisingly good and like really well done. Like, I think this is like one of the most well produced episodes of the show. The ice skating sequences all over Paris towards the end of the episode are really well put together, and we're just like, considering like that's the down part of the episode, because we're here for the romance drama and not for the random akumatizations, I feel like. But it was like shockingly good to me. So I actually think it's like, this is like kind of a top tier episode, even though it's like not obvious because it's all over the place and super over the top melodramatic, but I'm living for that. So and also my fave Luka was in this episode, so of course I love it. Okay, so let's talk about.
I'm so glad he's not dead.
Let's talk about Luka. Then the top story. No, okay, so probably near the top of the story list, but I feel like the most notable thing is the way the episode begins and then ends with these fake out daydream scenes from.
Oh my gosh! Okay, first off, can I point out that they both want hamsters?
Yes.
Because I thought that was great.
April, so they both mention hamsters. And also, if we go back to Sandboy, Marinette also mentions a hamster in her dream during Sandboy. So, April, please psychoanalyze the two of them and wanting hamsters. What does that represent?
Look, they both enjoy cuddly and furry things, and neither one of them, because of...
Is cat cuddly and furry? Is that it?
Well, here's the thing. Neither one of them wants a cat, and it's simply because of Cat Noir. Because, like, Adrian's like, look, if I get a cat, then it'll be obvious that I am Cat Noir. And Marinette will never get a cat because she'll never admit that she she's like, if I get a cat, then that means that I also like Cat Noir. So it's because of... So they're like, we need a tiny and furry, cuddly creature, except don't cuddle hamsters because they will die. And this has been my TED Talk.
Is it just foreshadowing of our next superhero, the hamster? Like, is that the next? Yeah. Who should be the hamster on the show? I think Rose, because she's the.
I was just about to say Rose. Get out of my head, Dylan. But the hamsters are symbolic because that just means that they're meant to be together. So.
No, that didn't mean anything. You just said, well, because they both daydream about having hamsters for with each other.
Yeah.
Okay, so
they found like a common goal.
A common yes. Yeah, that's a good life goal. Sarah, so are you behind the hamster as the representation of Marinette and Adrian's love?
I don't know. I mean, I guess,
when you combine a ladybug and a cat, you get a hamster.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense because, it's small and unassuming, just how they're just so entirely unassuming of each other's identities, even though it's so obvious.
Okay.
It's a small, unassuming, but filled with love, and that's what their relationship will be like once they have their hamster.
Okay, that was a shockingly good answer to that stupid question. So
we're
on board with.
Read my notes.
You did not write about the hamster as the symbol of Marinette and Adrian in your notes.
Yes, I did.
No, you take a picture. You did not do that. In your 4-page notes, you did not write about the hamster. There is hamster on my outline twice because they mentioned it twice. Anyway, the beginning of this episode, we have this daydream from Kat where he's him revealing himself to Ladybug. And April, were you buying it when this happened right away? Kat reveals himself as Adrian.
Yes, I totally bought it.
Did you really?
For like a moment, and that's like I did, and it's funny because I saw the trailer or whatever for this episode, and I was like, oh my god, this is really happening. But then whenever they like went to like that sort of different like art style and everything, I was like, okay, I'm a little bit skeptical now. And then they're like, he like snaps out of it or whatever, and then I was like, oh, like why couldn't this have just happened? Like just shove it in our faces like that, because that would have been great. Like especially if it had been real, I never would have suspected that. For them to like be serious about it, which would have been the perfect identity reveal, actually.
So because you wouldn't have suspected it, you thought it might actually be true.
Yes.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense, but okay. Here's an update. April has sent over a picture of her notes, which say, hamsters, they both want hamsters. I don't think that really qualifies as the symbol of their, I guess it's implied from that notation, so I think we'll give it to her. Okay, so April was prepared for that with her notes. Sarah, this was in the trailer for the episode, so were you thrown off at all by this being right away?
No, I was like, okay, I mean, they're not going to show us the actual identity reveal in the trailer. Like, that's not happening. And so when I saw it coming at first, I mean, part of me was kind of like, wait, are they actually doing it? No, they're not actually doing this. But like, they're not actually doing this. I didn't really believe it, but at the same time, I was like, it almost is. It's so ridiculous that they would just have it happen at the beginning of the episode that it's almost believable because of the show being the way it is.
Yeah, it would be the type of stupid thing that the show would do. Especially
like this season, like.
Yeah. At the very least, it throws you off because the show's never done anything like this before. It's never like had a thing where it's ostensibly just reality and then it's just not. Like they just like it really is intent is to trick you because it plays as if the scene is real and then you are supposed to subtly realize after that like part of it was true and then it cut off and then it went into daydream. Like offering the rose was actually a thing that happened, but then it stopped there. Like it's kind of confusing actually. So I think there's actually a lot of interesting narrative device use behind it. And then at the end of the episode, Marinette is daydreaming that she is able to tell Adrian that she loves him. I love you, Adrian, even if you love Kagami. I had to tell you. And he says, it's you I love. And they can get married and have a beautiful house and a dog or a cat or a hamster. Yeah. So that's as extensively discussed already. So both of them like had, like the reality is she did run up to Adrian and started to say something, but just not that. So I thought that it was really interestingly used. It's definitely like very deceptive of your audience because there's no indication other than the absurdity of both scenes and the fact that the show never has progression like that either was fake. The second one you get the shtick given that the first one happened, although it's like 20 minutes away from each other, so maybe you forget a little bit. But yeah, it was interesting.
No, I knew I was being punked the second time.
Oh, second time you caught on. The second one is more believable though.
Yes, but I was also like still very worked up about it because I was like, oh my gosh, like my heart is gonna pound out of my chest right now if this is the one that actually ends up being real. Because again, it's like the same thing where you're like they're not afraid to toy with us in this way, and so. Like I had to I was like, am I being punked again? Like, where's Ashton Kutcher? Is he gonna come out?
Haven't you heard? He's the next guest star character on in season 3 of Ladybug. Yeah. And
then I was like, it was right as after Marinette said confessed her love, and then Adrian was saying or told her like I don't love Kagami, I love you, and I was like, no, he's too nice, like he's not gonna say that, like.
Oh, that's what clued you in. Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's the giveaway. I think in the chronology of the show, in season 8, season 9, when we get to actually doing things, Marinette confesses her feelings will happen before the identity reveal. So I think that one is we need that to happen first before we can get to the identity reveal. Maybe, I mean, you could do either one, but if we want to
I think that'll happen first, and then Adrian will be like, he'll be like, no, like I'm in love with another person, I'm so sorry, and then he'll have the courage to, I mean, he's already confessed his love to Ladybug, but then at the same time, he will do it again, but also reveal his identity, and then, Marinette will be like, oh my god, Adrian was Chat Noir the entire time, and then she'll reveal her identity. It'll all happen at once. It'll be very emotional, and I will cry.
Pass on that. Let's we have so many big things. Let's space them out. Anyway, if we want to do their dating thing while still haven't revealed the identities, we could do that. Anyway, okay, let's talk. I've waited long enough. I have to talk about Luka. Okay, so Luka and Kagami are in this episode, and they're the stunning return of both characters. Even though they're in that music video that one time, this is both of their second episodes. Was Kagami in the music video, or was it just Luka? I don't remember.
Just Luka.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, so this is the Kagami's literal second appearance, and but this episode is they introduce these characters, and it's like, oh, they're the fake love interest for Marinette and Adrian, and then their introductions, they both aren't really that. Like Luka is a little bit, at least, but Kagami is definitely not that for Adrian in her first appearance on the show. So then they're coming back here, and we get both of them at once, and they are each other's dates in the double date to the ice rink. And both of them have some interesting things to do. April, who shined to you more? Who's your character of the episode? Is it Kagami or Luka?
It's Kagami because it's Kagami because she was a force to be reckoned with on that ice rink. Like she knew you had this feeling that she suspected that Adrian was talking about Marinette the entire time in terms of his feelings going unmet or whatever, emotional stuff that he had said. But it shows, especially in Kagami's actions on the rink with Marinette and Luka and all of them, especially whenever she says what is it? It's because you hesitate, you're not able to stand, and I never hesitate. I was like, whew, girl, that line was great. But then she's also she sort of calls Adrian out too. She's like, oh, is the only reason why you invited Marinette and Luka because you were afraid to be alone with me? And even then, she, shows off for him and everything like that. And don't get me wrong, Luka's got some smooth moves, but I just thought that, Kagami, her forcefulness was very, I don't know. It did it for me.
Oh, it did. Okay, interesting. She's extremely assertive the entire episode with her desire for Adrian. Sarah, did you see that coming? That Kagami was so into Adrian here.
I guess so. I mean, she's passionate about fencing, and he was the one that and so you connect people over those shared.
Are you also on Team Kagami here over Team Luka?
Yes.
What did you like about her in this episode?
Pretty much exactly what April said. Really, she's so blunt about, what she's thinking. She says what she wants to say, and she asks what she wants to ask. She is so direct and forthright, and I gotta admire that. And she gives good advice too. If you're pining after something and you're not getting what you want, then sometimes maybe you have to change the target. And I thought that was perhaps not the worst advice.
Change the target to her.
Right.
Right.
Well,
I feel
no,
like it was
that's not who I
Okay.
wanted him to change the target to.
But can we talk about how I think who Kagami truly wants is Marinette?
Oh, because
Yes.
she helps her up off the ice rink. And
Yes,
That
their
is her-
chemistry was undeniable.
who you got? Who you got? Marinette and Kagami's chemistry, or Marinette and Luka's chemistry?
Kagami.
Obviously, Marinette. Kagami.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's that was a great scene of help. She helps her up and she like whispers in her ear, very close. You know.
I never hesitate.
Yeah.
Like that's a challenge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which had never hesitate about being with Marinette. And, you know, could be,
Right.
could be.
Or getting what you want.
Yeah, which secretly, obviously, Marinette, not Adrian. Yeah, we'll get to that later. So Luka is clearly the best character in the episode.
Get out
I
of
mean,
here.
come on, April. I thought you're now a Luka stan, so why aren't
Look,
you?
I
Did you
was
pick
very
Luka?
excited to see him because, again, I thought he was dead. But
It's very concerned for his being alive is step one towards stand-up, April.
look, I really liked that he, like, it was very obvious the entire time. Not that we didn't get it in his first episode, but, like, he was into Marinette and he was digging her. And, like, you know, first he starts by playing her the song of it, or the song of her heart or whatever, because that was a line from the first episode. And and then she admits that she likes him and everything, but, like, I thought some of their scenes were super goofy when they were ice skating.
You weren't feeling that when he hell spun her over his head.
No, I had to take
and
a
they're
break
like
after
side by
that.
side, and they had the dreamy
No.
backgrounds. You know?
I had to take another break after that. But, like, I was like, what did I say? I was like, I'm so frustrated right now, I'm crying.
That's the romantic ice skating we've always wanted on the show, right? Was Marinette and Luka.
But,
No.
right,
No, okay. So here's why Luka's the best is
tell
because
us,
You
Dylan.
haven't even let me say why I don't think he's the best.
that's not a valid opinion, so it's fine. Everyone stands Luka. We all know he's the best.
Excuse me?
I think it's been clear that you
You haven't given me a chance to explain why.
Okay, why? What did you not? Well, okay, let me give the pro first, then you give the con.
Okay, fine.
We gotta give the, there's so many Luka fans out there. I know he's like the most popular character on the show, so people can be disappointed if we don't give the positive perspective on Luka first. And the positive perspective is that he is so dreamy with his lack of eyelashes, and he's just music, and he's just he's such a dreamboat. And here's the real reason: is he's so respectful of Marinette this entire episode, and I think it's really great how Marinette's wishes are first in his mind, and even though he is into Marinette to a certain extent, he's very, very quickly sees at the end like this is not what you want. Go after Adrian. What a good look for Luka.
That's true. He was very respectful.
Yeah. So what turned you off about Luka, Sarah, this episode? And in general, other than the eyelashes.
The eyelashes. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know if I can like pinpoint exactly what it is about Luka that just I do not like, but it's basically his whole vibe that he has going on about being this nice guy who's just way too chill. Like, does he ever feel anything? Like does he express any emotion?
Marinette this episode.
Yeah.
That was Can he express any emotion that isn't like through his guitar?
That's how he expresses himself, dude.
But like, okay, he's this nice, like way too chill guy who speaks all of his feelings through and other people's feelings through music. Like he's this edgy teenager trying to be cool, and in the episode he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I already live for music." Like, come on, like.
I might have a new song to write.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that line, Dylan.
It's the best one. Sarah, how dare you Two things. One, he's not trying to be cool. He is cool. He's the coolest,
He
okay?
lives on a boat and plays the songs of your heart, Sarah.
Isn't that everyone's dream boy? Like,
No.
come on. Lives on a
Very
boat with his,
upset.
like, weird pirate mom? Yeah, like,
I'm
come on.
putting this in me and my husband's divorce papers. What?
Doesn't live on a boat, yeah.
Doesn't play the songs of my heart.
That's just a requirement. I mean, come on. And, number two, how dare you question his chillness? He is the most chill. He has worked so hard to be that chill, okay?
How do you know that? How do you know he's not just been this emotionless person his entire life?
No, one does not just be.
He's actually
be
a
that emotional.
psychopath.
Unless he's like a sociopath. He could be. We have not seen that much from him. Is he? This is a front he's putting on, and he expresses himself through his songs. That scene of him, on the boat, and Marinette goes up and he's like, "Here's how you feel, and here's how you should feel."
That's so crazy.
What is
That's
that
not
That's my Luka voice. Yeah, that's
Okay.
who didn't love that though.
Like, if you were to see my face whenever Luka is on the screen, you would just see this visible look of disgust.
Sarah, I'm gonna play you a song about how you feel about me. It goes like this. But here's how you should feel about me, Sarah. Why don't you feel that way about me, Sarah? Okay. And I just want Luka to keep playing songs about how everyone feels at every juncture in this show. And we're gonna have the identity reveal, and then Luka comes out with his guitar, and he's like, "This is how you guys are feeling for each other." It's like
He just shows up out of nowhere.
yeah.
From between an alley.
Luka just narrates
They're
the
actually
emotions.
ladybugging in chat.
Oh my gosh.
And then Chat reveals himself, and it's actually Luka, and it's Marinette's dream, and she wakes up, and Cat takes out a guitar. It's like, let me play how I feel about you.
Okay, I'm leaving. Okay, I'm leaving.
Sarah, I told you to feel this way about me.
Dylan, is that your Hawkmoth?
No, Hawkmoth's very different. Okay. We'll get to that in a second.
When did Luka turn into Hawkmoth?
Dylan clearly has a wide range of impressions that he's just showing to us.
These incredible male characters. I have a wide Hawkmoth. Darkwing's rise. He goes away, and then it's actually Luka. Yeah, and that was Hawkmoth's identity the entire time. I think that would be good. Okay, so the most ridiculous scene of the episode. It was all a fake. Luka was that's how he was this unassuming chill bro, and then no, he's actually Hawkmoth. Okay, the most ridiculous scene of the episode is when Marinette falls down in the ice rink. We've already talked about part 2 of this scene, but part 1. And then Luka and Adrian both go over and reach out a hand to her to help her up. And there's the shot, that's the screen cap of them both putting their hands towards her. And then Marinette puts her hands up towards Luka, and she doesn't know, put towards Adrian. She doesn't know.
And then the ice skating instructor comes in and almost kills her with his blade.
He ruins it. But that's like how melodramatic and representative of the love that's the most love triangle representative scene I've ever seen. Like, what?
I literally screamed out loud at this, and this was the point when I had to tell myself to keep breathing, and like I took notes, like I had all these thoughts, because I was like, man, how awkward would it be if like she didn't grab Luka's hand? And also, shame on both of them, because Adrian was clearly skating with Kagami, and he's over there checking out Marinette, and then all of a sudden she crashes into a wall, but also like Luka let go of her hand, and how did he not notice that she was also about to crash into the wall? Like, what is wrong with these boys? How distracting.
I think a lot of things.
Well, we know Sarah hates Luka. So.
Hey, April, you are really jumping off the trying to make it seem like you're the not hating Luka, but we have the tapes on this. Okay, you can't fool us.
Look, no, if anyone's to blame for Marinette crashing into the wall, it's Luka, because he let go of her hand.
I think what's wrong with these boys is hormones, and that's what's wrong with the entire episode. It's all teenage hormones.
These teenagers don't have their hormones figured out, Dylan. I'm so confused.
Really, you could say that's the problem with the entirety of the show. Is that's what's driving the conflict behind Miraculous Ladybug? Yeah,
man.
And that's why we love it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then
my world is shaken up.
Yeah, Kagami comes over, helps Marinette up. We talked about this, yeah, and boy, what a stupid scene, but I loved it. It was great. The only, like, there's more stupid scenes. They said the episode is and when I say stupid, of course, when I'm talking about Ladybug, stupid means good, because I want the show to be as stupid as possible, because it's the most entertaining for me. I
was going to say, all of our favorite episodes are the ones that just have, like, really, like, dumb concepts behind them.
Yeah, replace stupid with absurd. That's a better word. Even absurd also has a negative connotation. But the second most absurd scene of the episode is when Marinette runs to the bathroom, and then Adrian comes after her, and they both have debrief sessions with their kwamis on opposite sides of the bathroom door. And neither hears each other talking to the kwamis. And they just talk about each other, even though they're like 5 feet from each other.
And they can't hear these separate conversations through the door.
No. But even though they are communicating in some form, they call out to each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just whispering really softly, clearly.
I just love how Adrian's skating with Kagami, and then all of a sudden he's like, wait, my Marinette senses are tingling. I must go help her.
Yeah.
I can't take credit for that. It's in a fan art by the fan artist Spatzeline. But I just saw that and I was like, oh my god, that's Adrian right there.
Adrian just realized that you just keep track of Marinette at all times. Adrian, this is how you really feel about Marinette. Like love theme. Like, Adrian, follow your heart. Like, okay, we just need like Luka to have Adrian consult his emotions. I think that would really solve everything here.
I think we just need Luka to just do like a narration for every episode.
I think the conclusion we're arriving is that much more Luka is what we really want from this show. I think that's been the strong conclusion so far from this podcast.
Conclusion if you ignore every single thing that I've said.
Look, Sarah, I only soak in the memes that we talk about on the podcast. That's all that really lands. So we need to get the anti-meme Luka memes going if you want to if we want to remember that part.
You want to survive.
Yeah. But no, the third most absurd scene is the first scene of the episode, because it doesn't make any sense. We open the episode with Ladybug and Cat just saving some random guy from falling. And then they pound it.
Hang gliding.
And he says, flower delivery by hang glider wasn't the best idea of the century. Who are you? What are you talking about?
I think that's an amazing idea. I think it was just poorly executed.
My second question is, why do Ladybug and Cat pound it after just saving random people? Like, isn't that
because they're a team.
Isn't that a post-Akuma thing?
Like, were they just both walking out on the street? Because... Like,
it's been implied that they sometimes like patrol Paris, saving people, like in Dark Owl. Like, there's a little bit of that in the beginning, but we really never see it. So this was very weird to see them just saving some random guy from falling. Yeah. Flower delivery by hang glider. The show doesn't even try to be normal. Like, it doesn't even try to make sense.
Was it an indication, Dylan? I don't want to live in a world that doesn't have space dumpsters and flower delivery by hang gliding.
Really, space dumpsters was the ultimate sign of the show makes no attempts to make any sense. But this is another example of that. And please continue not making sense. It makes the show so much better.
I love it so much.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about. We haven't even mentioned that this is a dual episode. This is the second power-up episode, miraculous power-up episode of the show, and then it is also the second guest star episode. We combine them into two. Why? Because they are both flimsy concepts that need other things happening in order to land. Boo, burn. This is Philippe is Philippe Candeloro, the French ice skater who we all know, right? Yeah. She's an Olympic French ice skater. Yeah. You stan him. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Elaborate on his accomplishments.
He skates very well.
Yeah, he had 2 bronze medals. I know that. I'm the real stan. Oh,
did you Google it?
I did. Obviously, I Googled it. I thought he was fairly unobtrusive. I think he was good. He's a good voice act for this character. But the character, relative to the previous one, where we had to have an entire scene of Marinette talking about how great she is.
Okay. What I'm confused about, so they had, it was Laura Morano who was in the rhyming one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Laura Morano, did she do the French one? Is that the question?
Right, so, I don't think she did the French one.
And did Philippe do the English one? Probably not. So really, it doesn't, I don't know why, but they're doing this. Luckily it hasn't really been a thing that's mattered, to the season.
No one's called them out on it yet.
We were calling them out on it. Just stop doing the guest star. Unless you get, I don't even remember.
Ashton Kutcher.
Unless you get Ashton Kutcher, you can't get any more
Ashton
guest stars,
Kutcher, yes.
Yeah. Gonna punk Adrian, yeah. That's
punk April,
it. I mean, Adrian's been acting kind of like a punk, so.
Oh, elaborate on that thought.
Well, I don't know.
We don't take kindly to bashing of Adrian on this podcast.
I know.
If you've listened, we've never done that before in the history of this podcast, Sarah. So you need to elaborate on that thought. Cat is perfect, and we love him. And
perfect.
Okay, so the ice power ups here. Are the bigger story.
So first off, I like that Marinette instantly knew which one she needed. Also, how did she know which color? Does she have a color-coded guide in her pocket?
So this is, April correctly points out, a very stupid element of this episode, where we get the akumanization. Marinette sees ice and instantly pulls out the
correct macaroon. I want to see the episode where she's I need one of these. Let me get my guide out.
I buy that Master Fu explained the blue one is for ice.
There was three blue ones.
Oh, there are 3 blue ones? Maybe I don't buy that. Maybe there are 3 ice ones in there. Maybe you need to be prepared for all situations in which Paris is frozen over and you have to ice skate on
firm ice. This is for slushy ice. This is for
April, this is specifically for the situation where you need to ice skate over the entirety of Paris. Okay, gotta get these power-ups straight here. All this does is get them ice skates. I don't understand why can't they just put on ice skates? Why is this
ice skates? Did you not see her tiara, Dylan?
Look,
you need the whole outfit to make it work.
That's the biggest story here, but it's not functional. Did the tiara grant her any special ice skating ability? Maybe she did do flips.
If you look beautiful, you ice skate better. It's science.
Clearly. And also, did you not see that the suit was a slightly more pale red color? There was also fur lining to keep her warm, Dylan, so she doesn't die.
That. I saw the snowflake pattern across the suit, which was great. Yeah.
There is also fur and a high collar, so she doesn't freeze to death in this ice really world.
Cool. Yeah, and considering we're talking about Marinette's transformation, the best part is at the end she has the tiara, and then she does the hand under chin move and smiles in the last shot, like the cutesy thing. Marinette's never done that before. Why is she randomly doing that at the end of this transformation? It was fantastic, though.
She's on a date. She's trying to be cute.
So that's how she wants to present herself to Luka. So therefore, Marinette and Luka are the OTP.
But Luka's not even around. Isn't he frozen somewhere, like a human icicle?
What does happen to Luka and Kagami during
we
ice
don't
skating?
know.
I didn't think. I've watched this episode 3 times. I never thought about that before.
Where does it go? Every time I was.
We don't show them being frozen, right?
At first I was like, what happened to all the people? They're just gone. And then I realized that we see some of them frozen on a bench, and I'm like, wow, that's kind of frightening.
They're all dead.
They're just all frozen.
Also, I can't remember what Chat's transformation pose was at the end, but I remember laughing out loud hysterically.
Oh, well, how don't you remember? Because it's been seared into my brain.
It's amazing.
He throws his arms out and lifts upward as if he is he's like, and he's like, look at me, that's been the fandom's number 1 reaction this episode has been Cat's pose at the end of that transformation. Speaking of transformations, how could we talk absurdity in this episode and not talk about the names of the Kwamis?
Tiki.
So we got Stalactiki, yes, and Stalactiki, Transforme-moi. By the way, we got the Transforme-moi because we watched the French version.
So much.
And so it's a Transforme-toi at first. It's Tiki, transform yourself, and then Tiki, then transform me.
2-step transformation sequence.
Yes,
We got 4 transformation sequences.
and then more importantly, we get Pla Gla Gla. He's wearing some ridiculous thing too. Pla Gla Gla. Okay, so this is why you need to watch the English dub of this episode because it's somehow even better in English.
What?
April, I don't think you've watched it.
I didn't. I need to find this.
Pla Gla Gla in English is Pla Glacier. Pla Glacier, transform me. Like, I guess he says claws out. Yeah, he's Pla Glacier. That's what they.
Pla Glacier. So was Tiki.
No,
Glacier.
she was still Stalactiki, but he was Pla Glacier.
I wish they would have kept Pla Gla Gla.
Pla Gla Gla. So that is probably supposed to be ice plog. So it's not even a direct translation. They just tried to do the alliteration, I guess, of it. Like
I had to make it sound cool.
Pla Glacier.
Yeah.
Pla Glacier.
Pla Glacier.
I expected him to be that in like at least some form of glacier in the original, but no, he's Pla Gla Gla sounds like
it sounds like the noise you're making, like when you're like chugging water or something. Yeah.
Pla Glacier. Like, I don't understand the mythology behind these power-ups. Why is he Pla Glacier?
Because it's like an ice thing, you know?
Because it's an ice-associated thing.
I wonder what was it whenever they were they like water tiki and then
Aqua Tiki. How can we forget Aqua Tiki? Yeah, and then we don't see Adrian transform in that episode. But
that's right.
Yeah, but here we get Pla Gla Gla. Yeah.
Pla Gla Gla.
Yeah, Plag.
That's perfect. I love it.
And it's worse in French because Plag's. We were reminded this episode for the first time like 15 episodes. Plag's French voice is the worst, and it's like
his French voice is amazing.
Either amazing
he
or the
like
worst.
An old man, and it's great.
He's like so much more palatable in English, but he's talking about Camembert. Like it's like that one line. It's like it's so great. Plag Glacier. Oh my goodness. Okay, so their ice power ups. Yeah, they basically just have ice skating abilities. I guess they can ice skate well, but I don't even think that's attributed to the power ups because they can like swing from rooftops and stuff. Yeah, I guess. Get a coat, like Tiki. Get me a coat. Tiki, some ice skate. Like, what is it? Why?
Hold on, Tiki. We gotta stop in that coat store. Where's the Burlington?
at least with the underwater, like let them breathe underwater. Even though they already can do that with their Miraculous, is like the yo-yo and the thing. But anyway, this was under. But the ice skating scenes I thought were really fantastic, actually.
Oh, I loved them.
Yeah. By the way, if you've only seen the the English dub of this got like uploaded badly, and then the sound is off for the ice skating like action part, or at least part of it, and like that's the most gorgeous sound part of the episode. It's like
because you get the actual like ice skating noises.
Yeah, I actually think the sound design on the ice skating parts of this episode are like the best in the show's history. Like it's so fantastic. It like gives you the entire like aesthetic of like ice skating in this giant empty city. It's like really great. By the way. Just of note, we don't get the akumatization in this episode until 13 minutes 40 seconds into the episode.
Right?
This might be the latest. There's been some late akumatizations, but really, this episode knows its priorities. It is not the Frozer / ice skater. That is not the episode's priority because he is buried in the episode.
Also, Hockey was super dramatic, and I loved
it. Wait, back up, April.
I give him nicknames.
We've talked about Hawkmoth a lot. I don't know if you've ever called him Hockey before.
I've called him Mothy before.
He has many pet names for Hawkmoth.
Okay, Hawkmoth is mostly irrelevant. By the way, Gabriel reluctantly allows April.
I was very concerned for Natalie in that scene because normally Natalie's the person who delivers like that terrible news, like, "Hey, like you're supposed to be practicing piano." It never comes from Gabriel, so
very hands-on parenting for him.
Yeah, I was very proud of him for taking an active role in his son's life, but I was also very concerned because where was Natalie? She was not in that scene at all. And if she's normally like near or around,
She was
like
in the
in those
episode, at
types of
least.
scenes.
She was in a montage earlier, so she was there somewhere. But yeah, it's not a lot of Hawkmoth to talk about, except for this one line when he's defeated.
Which one? Oh no, I thought
no.
you were gonna
Okay,
say...
you can say the other one. I didn't find it relevant, but I'll give you the real Hawkmoth voice, and then I'll tell you why it's different from Luka. Because of you, Ladybug, my plans were shattered as if they were ice. But revenge is a dish best served cold.
So dramatic.
April, grade his ice puns in this episode.
His ice puns were great. On a scale of, I gave it an A++. He passed with flying colors.
Okay.
Because I really enjoyed...
But we're biased because he's our favorite and we always give him A++.
Yes, but I really enjoyed also what is it? He said, a burning passion that leaves everyone cold. And I was like, yes, like, look at you.
You were like, yes, my burning passion for you, Hawkmoth. That's what you're like. All of our burning passions for Hawkmoth, yeah. Hawkmoth's several times made puns about the theme of the episode, but this really brought up in my head, like, is Gabriel just sitting around like writing down potential puns that he could say as Hawkmoth in his downtime? Yeah, he's like,
what if I create an ice villain?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Revenge served cold. Check. Okay, I got that one down.
Gotta get that cliche line. Yeah. Yes.
Shattered as if they were ice. Ooh, I like that one. Ooh. You know.
Okay, how do I open this? Okay, if it's ice, let's do the contrast of a burning passion. Okay, okay.
I think he's just sitting around brainstorming. Like, he must be a master wordsmith. He's coming up with these off the top of his head. He has no audience. Is another thing here. So really, he's just trying to impress Nuru. He's trying to impress Nuru is secretly he loves Nuru.
All the butterflies.
Obviously, Nuru's his best friend.
Yeah, I guess the butterflies. Yeah, there you go.
Maybe he gets really excited, and so at the end of the day, he goes to Natalie, and he's like, "Natalie, you'll never guess. I had the perfect ending line when I was defeated today. I talked about how they shattered, or I'm gonna shatter their dreams like ice, and then revenge best served cold."
Now that we know that Natalie knows,
so proud of you. That's great. She giggles. She's like, "Gee,
Gabriel, that was so funny." Yeah. Or
that's, she's like, "Oh, Gabriel."
Yeah, that's how she.
And he's like, "Call me Hockey."
Oh no, April. April is writing her Natalie Gabriel /fic. Call me Hockey. Oh no. Okay. Well.
Okay.
Get back to that later.
There's in that montage, if Adrian's trying to ask for advice from different people, and there's that one bit where he goes in to ask his dad, but Gabriel's just standing there staring at the painting of Adrian's mom. Is that him just standing there contemplating all of his puns?
I think so. I think that's true. That was foreshadowing.
He's preparing.
You think he's reminiscing on his dead wife, who he's trying to bring back to life, but no, he's really just thinking of all these puns we can use later.
Exactly. She's his greatest inspiration.
Yeah. Well, what if Emily was just said puns all the time? So when he's looking at his portrait, he's fondly remembering all the puns she made when she wasn't.
That's where
he's like, Adrian my wife had the best dad jokes.
No, but that's where Cat Noir gets all of his amazing pun skills from, because his mom.
It runs in the family.
He misses his mom. Oh wow, yeah, because Gabriel only gives puns when he's Hawkmoth, so he wouldn't have gotten it from Gabriel.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, this is canon now. When we see Emily resurrected in two episodes,
this is how Gabriel will figure out that his son is actually Cat Noir, because they've never interacted as their other forms. So they're going to meet each other, and they're going to be like Hawkmoth's going to be like, my wife used to say something like that, and then
he's going to be like, you stole that from Emily. Adrian.
That's how it'll be. Oh my god!
And he'll be like,
happening.
He'll my mom had all the greatest puns until she disappeared, and he'll be like, what?
But then he'll be like, oh no, it was a different disappearing mom. Yeah, and then no progression. That's what'll happen. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know how we spend so much time on Hawkmoth. Anyway,
they'll pretend they'll daydream that moment, and then they'll both snap out at it at the same time.
Okay. Let's talk about the end of the episode. So Adrian, he's decided to not change targets, even if it means he's going to keep failing. So still pining over Ladybug. And Kagami says, the day you realize you've your target wrong, I'll be here. And then looks at Marinette. So she's like aware that it's she thinks this is
Marinette.
Important. She thinks he's pining over Marinette. Yeah, Kagami. That's something the episode's very explicit about. It's kind of subtle because in our heads, Marinette is Ladybug, but to Kagami that's not true, obviously. So she's thinking that Adrian likes Marinette. So that's relevant
because he does subconsciously.
Well, obviously, but
this is furthering. He got excited when he was like, "Just me and you." Like, I mean, he didn't say it like that, but
he said it like that. Yeah. But yeah, it's so basically everyone thinks that Adrian likes Marinette except for Adrian, right? Because also Marinette's friend group was like, "Yeah, he definitely likes you." Yeah. So, so yeah, that should be noted. And then kisses him on the cheek after that.
Yeah.
Was that just a French goodbye, or was it romantic? What do we think?
I think it's like one of those, like, I don't know, like it's like an intimate friend thing. I don't think it was just being
April. The way you're saying it, it feels like you're not shipping Kagami and Adrian. And how dare you?
I am. She's very much into him, and he likes her. He's just very distracted with Ladybug. He can't help it because Ladybug is amazing.
Yeah, no one can help it. But it's Sarah. What was your reaction to Kagami kissing Adrian on the cheek?
It's Kagami being, doing what she wants. Like she wants Adrian, or at least she thinks she does.
She knew that it would also upset Marinette too.
Oh yeah. No, she knows that it'll make Marinette jealous and want her.
So okay. To defend Kagami, I don't think Kagami wishes any harm upon Marinette. I think she is very respectful of Marinette the entire episode. I don't think she's doing this with intent of making Marinette jealous or anything. I think she's just being her assertive self. And she says, the day you realize you have your target wrong, I'll be here. Yeah. So she's like, the day you come to your senses and realize I'm the best.
I love it.
Yeah, like, I'm obviously the better choice here.
Best, yeah, but she'll have moved on and be dating. I don't know. There's no other second best guy option at school. So who are we even? Who's she aspiring? We only know of like five guys in Marinette's 13-person class, right? Kagami's not in their class though, is she?
No,
she's at the school though in a different class.
Aren't all the guys taken? Like,
is everyone in Max? Max is not taken.
Max is free.
No.
Yeah. What about Robot?
But Max and what's his name?
Oh, the robot.
No. The guy, the
who?
Kim.
Kim. Oh yeah, Kim. Oh yeah, Kim and Kim. I forgot. It's been so long since we've had them on an episode. Yeah, Zombie Zoo. They're together. Okay.
Where's Kim?
Yeah, okay, the Luka climax. Luka says, "I think you have something to tell him," and then Marinette kisses him on the cheek. And then runs after Adrian, but kisses him on the cheek first.
He also kisses him on the cheek. It's like a very friendly thing. Like thank you for being an amazing friend. Here's a kiss on the cheek.
Friends can do that.
Yeah.
Did you guys read the room, guys? It was very romantic. Duh.
I mean, obviously, because
after they just intimately ice skated together. I think
it's like that. What is it? Where it's like one of your. Okay, I can't use words because I'm so hyped up right now.
Yeah, about Luka.
It's whenever you're being
April,
respectful.
The way you feel about me is like this. Yeah. Yeah. Very excited music. Yeah.
It's whenever you're being respectful of the other person's feelings, but you're also still kind of like, but hey, I have feelings for you, and I'm just leading you on just a little bit. I'm giving you a little something, a sneak peek.
Yeah, I definitely don't think Marinette intended it like that.
No, probably not. She's a sweetheart.
Too pure, yeah. I don't think she's is capable of that. But I think it is up for debate whether Marinette has any sort of feelings for Luka.
I think she does. I think it's one of those situations where she just doesn't want to admit it.
So does she, and she's trying to suppress it because she thinks she should like Adrian more, or is it that she just thinks that she should have feelings for a guy like Luka, and it's like, oh, Adrian is she's very defeatist about it. Actually, we're almost an hour in, we haven't talked about a really important line from Marinette, but she just doesn't think that she's pessimistic about being with Adrian, so she's like, oh, I should be with Luka. He's like this dreamy teenage boy, and he likes me. So I think it could be either.
I think
Sarah,
I think it's the latter. I think it's that she thinks that she should like him because he's all, I'm so charming with my music and emotions, and she thinks that, oh yeah, well, I mean, he's so nice, so this is the guy that I should like.
Yeah, I think in all seriousness, I want to think that that's true. I do think that the episode had two moments which maybe contradicted that. One was on the boat when she is kind of dreamily looking at him. When he's doing his music.
I mean, she could have conflicting feelings.
Right. I mean, I'm not saying it's definitive. I'm just saying, like, I would definitely, if supported, believe that she didn't have feelings for him. The first one was on the boat. The second one was when they are ice skating. She does look over at Adrian, but when they get into like the background, the background changes to the nonsense. She is pretty. She seems really into it. Yeah.
Yeah. She has like a moment where she's just like not into it, and then that's like when it's very like subtle. The show sometimes does things with like faces where you can see their expression very subtly, and so like you see it in her face where it like changes with her eyes, and that's whenever like the background changes and it's more so like it's just me and Luka and we're doing all of this amazing skating kind of situation. So
yeah. I guess that the third moment would be when she reaches up first for Luka's hands, and then whose hand should I? Two cute boys. Whose hand should I? Okay, so that was the stupidest scene.
When do I pick?
Yeah, that was the stupidest scene I've ever seen.
Are they both hiding over me?
Yeah, no, she would not think that. So here's a really important thing with Marinette's view of Adrian's. We probably should have led with this like 10 minutes in, but here we are. Marinette's. We had important Luka impressions to get to earlier. So Marinette's feelings for Adrian are enumerated, like how she's thinking about the potential of them being together. She's talking with her friend group, which I loved again being in this episode. They're all fantastic here, and they're giving her ideas how to get out of the ice skating thing, and they're supporting like, no, they're the biggest shippers. They're the biggest Adrian. Yeah, what was wrinkle? Okay, I didn't write it down because I didn't want to get caught up on this, but wrinkle migration. Okay, anyway, from Mylene. Like, what are you talking about? Okay, was that a translation thing?
On the way.
yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Okay, so here's the quote. Here's how Marinette views her relationship with Adrian. She says, "There's nothing going on between Adrian and me. I can't even speak to him normally. So can you imagine me going on a date with him? No, I think we're made to be just friends in the end. I can tell because when I speak to him as a friend, I almost don't stutter. It's a sign, isn't it?"
No.
No, girl, come on. But no, I think this was incredibly fascinating by the show to comment on Marinette commenting on her own stuttering, because this is something we've discussed. I love when like we discuss something on the podcast and then the show also, characters in the show also comment on it. Like that's why it's very rewarding. Like we've discussed how Marinette is stuttering less around Adrian. That's been a constant theme. And here she recognizes it, but she doesn't think it's because she's more comfortable with him and that they're like growing closer. She thinks it's just because that's when she's interacting with him as a friend. She's more comfortable as opposed to when she's interacting with him romantically.
But it's so strange because her, like, I guess conversations, like, so what, her randomly like running into him, that's a romantic interaction? But it kind of makes you question like what she defines as a romantic interaction and what she defines as them being like friends and being close, because the only time she ever really like stutters lately, it seems, is like whenever like he's there suddenly to her, if that makes sense. So, maybe maybe I'm super like off on that, but it seems like it's only whenever like she runs into him because she's late to class or I don't know, and she literally
when she's like surprised by his appearance or something. Yeah, when she's
like that's the only time we see her stutter
when it's unexpected. Sarah, buy or sell Marinette's explanation of when she stutters around Adrian?
I kind of buy it. I think when she's so in her own head when she's thinking about Adrian and how much she likes him and all of that. And then when she sort of gets out of her head and she's just treating it as if it's a normal situation talking to a friend, then she's more confident and she's able to express herself more clearly. So I can see how, like, I think that is a pretty like insightful self-awareness that she has, but that doesn't mean that, again, that doesn't mean that she shouldn't like go on a date with him because she can't talk normally. It means that she just needs to get out of her own head.
Yeah, that's great. Great point, Sarah. I think that Marinette's close, but this shows how Marinette views Adrian. Like, it is true that she stutters when they're interacting as friends. It doesn't stutter when they're interacting as friends. In her mind, it's about the way she perceives their interactions. If they're interacting normally, she's okay. She's not nervous. When she perceives it as a romantic circumstance, maybe like April said, when it's an unexpected happenstance, kind of society drills these quote unquote romantic moments into us. Like, maybe she views those as things, as something that should be expected to be romantic. That's when she's flustered. Is when she's viewing him from this crush guise. And I think that this really shows that Marinette needs to move on from her crush on Adrian. Hot take, Marinette needs to stop crushing on Adrian, because it's not her friendship and bond with Adrian is not her. That's the part that we ship. That's the romantic part. That's the Adrianette. It's not her pining over him as a model in her class without actually interacting with him. These are
eating yogurt.
While eating yogurt that one time. These are kind of irrational feelings that are not based in the reality of their interactions. They have an incredible dynamic. But she still has the separation in her own head of, oh, here's Adrian, he's my friend at school, and also he's like this gorgeous boy that I have a crush on. She needs to get that part out of her own mind and just view him normally and have them develop a romantic bond normally. And that's when she interacts normally and best with him is when she's not thinking about him as having she's not thinking about having a crush on him. Yeah, and this is not a hot take, because we've talked about this before, that Marinette needs to get over this crush. Like, it's not healthy. You know, these types of things aren't. These are societally ingrained things. They're not really productive here. But I think this episode does an incredible job of enumerating that with the speech that she gives. She's almost there in realizing it.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting too, like, because it's almost like everyone realizes it except her, because even her friends, like, they have that moment where they all look around the circle at each other after she gives her speech, and it's like they know, and it's kind of one of those where it's like it's almost so obvious that why hasn't it slapped her in the face? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and she does have this block in her head. Like, she doesn't understand the legitimacy of her bond with Adrian. Like, her friends are like, no, you guys are in love. We see it. And they're being supportive friends. But also, Marinette, I think, is just, she just has a hard time because of the lack of confidence with him. She's a hard time seeing that they really are close, and they really are in a very normal position where they could start dating. All she would have to do is ask him out. It would be extremely normal. She's one of his closest friends, and he recognizes that. So, she just needs to understand the legitimacy of the bond they have, and of her as like a figure in his life. Like, she is really important to him, and she needs to see that.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I completely agree, and I think she needs to take a look back and like he trusts her so much. Like, he goes to her and opens up about his feelings, and he's totally vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't really we have those scenes of him looking around trying to find somebody to talk to, and he doesn't have anyone, and she's the one that he decides to confide in. And I think it's so important to show how this is bringing them closer as friends, that he is trusting in her.
That's
and she the other thing too is she points that out too when she's talking with her friends, because they're just like, you should just cancel, and she's like, well, no, I can't, because he's my friend, and I can tell that he needs me. And so I think that it's one of those things where I don't think it's like, again, it just hasn't quite hit her. And I also feel like the fact that Adrian is so well known doesn't help the situation, because it almost sets up that precedence that he's famous, so I have to fawn over him. And just because he his dad's this huge designer, and he does all of this modeling and X, Y, and Z, then that means that he is instantly unattainable for me. And it's almost like she feels, or no, it's like she's convinced herself that it doesn't matter because he is this unobtainable object. And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that he, is so well known. He's famous. I mean, all he has to do is post a picture on social media.
Get to that in a second,
yeah. But I mean, I think that that doesn't help her situation either. So
yeah, these are two great points, and the episode reminds us of that, April, because we see the billboards in the beginning when Marinette points out that I couldn't imagine a world without him. Here's all the ads of Adrian. I think the episode is aware of this viewpoint, and Sarah, great point with the she's the one that he goes to after we see all the people in his life, and he ends up at Marinette and confiding her, and he doesn't feel comfortable with anyone else. That's actually why this is a great episode. Like, there's this depth behind this romance melodrama, because we see Marinette is a really important person to Adrian, and he's the one that she's the one that he's confiding in, and yet and then we see the contrast with that and Marinette not recognizing that later in the episode. So it really just lays out their situation in season 2 in tremendous depth, I think. I think that's kind of the backbone of the episode is the Adrian and Marinette, how they view each other and their dynamic, and that's what's supporting this into being a legitimately great episode. Yeah. Okay. There's your good analysis. Let's go back to the social media posting. Actually, before that, we didn't talk about the ice rink date. There's this one part with Kagami and Luka. This is very central. Luka holds Marinette's hand to take her to the ice and catches her, and then Marinette ties her shoelaces together, and then Luka unties them and then ties them correctly, I think, is what happens there. And then I'm unsure if this was intentional, but I think it is intentional. Adrian notices that ended up in a romantic scene for Luka and Marinette, so then he comes over to Kagami with his laces untied with the intention of instigating a romantic scene. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Is that what it was? Because it's
a little not clear, but I think that's what he was doing. He was like, oh, he romantically tied her shoes. I should do this with Kagami, because he's like, how do I interact romantically with Kagami? I don't know. So then he comes over with his lace untied. Kagami's like, oh, you silly boy, you don't know how to tie your shoelaces. That's exactly what Kagami wants. He wants this stupid cute boy to nurture, and then she ties his laces, and then
you're so pretty, Adrian.
It's so good. Yeah, that was the perfect move for Kagami. Just be helpless in front of her and let her be assertive. Yeah, that's what she wants here. And then she takes his hand onto the ice, and they're all holding hands. By the way, Kat and Ladybug are holding hands when skating through Paris too.
I know, it was so cute.
Yeah, I wanted to point that analysis out about Adrian's move there. I don't know if this is an accepted thing, but that was it took me third viewing to understand Adrian's date move with the shoelaces.
Well, I what is it? Because I noticed almost immediately, because Adrian asks Marinette for advice on how to talk to her and do this and that, and then I think it's great because everything that Luka tells him, he is also doing at the same time with Marinette. So he's like, watch me as I do this thing that I'm telling you to do with your lady kind of situation. And then Marinette falls for it too, which is even better. And it's he was it was almost like Luka was trying to teach Adrian. He's like, watch, I'm going to steal this lady from you while you think that you're going to go impress Kagami. Good luck with that. It was almost very I don't know, show-offy, if that's the right.
From Luka?
Yeah.
No. He's a sweet, innocent child. April, you think I'm deceptive and I can show off? No, in my pure heart, it's yeah. Okay. So
I wish I had random guitar sounds on my phone,
we need to get that on the
play soundboard.
Yeah. Last week we established that the Kwamis have Instagram accounts.
That's right.
Correct. Yes. Okay. This week we see more social media because Adrian posts a plug for Philippe's rink after. We didn't even talk about the mayor in this. Okay, we've not.
We have so many things.
Oh my god. And we see Adrian's social media feed. He is following Marinette.
Yep.
Canon. Alia. Nino. Okay, sure. Wham! He's following Wham, the Adrian fanboy from Gorizilla.
Because William's the best character.
He realized
Sarah, okay, hold on. Sarah, why is William
he gave him was wrong.
It was real, yeah. Sarah, why is William good and Luka bad? Please get out there. I don't get that one.
Because Corsilla. He helps save the day. He's useful.
Okay, we just gotta. When are we gonna?
Luka also helped save the day.
Yeah, Luka,
because he pushed Marinette to go talk to Adrian at the end of the double date.
Okay, maybe I will give him just a small amount of credit for that.
For telling Marinette, to go to. Yeah, I mean, come on.
That's saving the day.
Yeah. Okay. So, Adrian's social media feed. So we don't know what social media this is. We think it's maybe Twitter because it doesn't
also
look the same
like
as
Instagram.
Yeah, but Kwame's the Instagram thing was definitely last episode.
But he didn't use social media this time.
Also, Wham is like posting a photo of like a hamburger. Like, I guess that's what he's.
Instagram.
No, but Marinette's post doesn't have a picture associated with it.
It's a combination of Twitter and Instagram. We discussed.
Well, you can post pictures on Twitter. You can post like I think it's just Twitter. Anyway, what's Marinette? What's Marinette tweeting about? Like, I don't know what.
About to go on this super hot date at the ice rink.
Yeah, going on hot date with Luka. Wish me luck, winky face, and then Adrian
at the ice rink.
Hopefully
things don't fizzle out.
Yeah, and then Adrian's like, "Wow, good luck. We're all rooting for you." Like, yeah, okay.
He sent her a DM. I thought you were gonna help me score with Kagami.
Are they like DMing each other on Twitter now? Like, what's the extent of their they follow each other? What's the extent of their social media interactions now?
They're in a.
This is unexplored fanfic territory, people. They follow each other on Twitter. I need the DM Twitter fanfic. Like, how have we not gotten that?
We do.
I think there's like some like super subtle flirting going on, and they don't even realize they're doing it.
Oh, well, that's their entire relationship. So, I think
exactly.
So. Okay, back to the top. Let's go over the unexplored moments. We talked to the reference to the mayor. So Philippe is trying to sign people up when they're skating because the coming off of his strong appearance in Maledictator, the mayor has a initiative to shut down this ice rink in order to make a gym for Chloe. is what he's doing.
No, for the citizens of Paris.
Oh, but for the citizens of Paris, yeah. And he dictates Philippe to sign one person up within 10 minutes, or else he's. Don't you have better things to do than going?
That's an impossible goal. He clearly saw. He was like, "Those 4 kids are on a double date. They're not going to want none of this nonsense." Philippe, if you get one of those kids, he knew he was setting him up for failure. I think the mayor is now in on it with Hawkmoth.
Wow, conspiracy theory with the mayor, with Mayor Andre. Yeah, he's this is actually the stupidest part of the episode. It feels like it's the shoehorned in.
It feels very season 1.
Yeah, but it was fairly unobtrusive, I would say. It's like whatever. He's trying to sign everyone up, and then the best part is when Adrian's like, "Oh, I wanted Marinette here to teach me how to ice dance," and Kagami's instantly like, "You don't need her for that," and then like shows off like these pro moves. Like, okay, Kagami,
and then Philippe's like, "You're awesome. Come join me. Like, I will train you. You will be amazing." Yeah.
That was actually a legitimate setup for him trying to sign her up. Like, oh, you're actually talented. And then the rest were like, you're a person. You should sign up.
I see you have legs and there are skates on them.
Yeah.
You should sign up.
Also, Marinette says she's too busy. No one calls her out on that. Like, what are you busy with, Marinette? What do you even do? No, nothing. We're not calling her out on.
She watches that Adrian perfume commercial.
Yes, clearly that's what we've established. Okay, so
she's saving the hang gliders.
Yeah, well, no, but that's they don't know that though. Yeah, that's what she really does with her time is saving stupid people in Paris who decide to hang glider delivery. But
I would have just said that. I would have been like, "Look, I got better things to do, like save dumb hang gliders."
Yeah, I think so. We see there's this moment when Adrian sees all the couples in school to like remind him that he's like down on his luck with love. And here's our established couples. We have Mark and Nathaniel immediately. Ivan and Mylene come across the screen subtly. You have Alya and Nino, and then Rose and Julika.
They're my favorite.
Obviously, they're all our favorite. But this is, I think, actually one of the more explicit things the show has done with queer relationships. Like, we're showing all the couples next to each other, and Rose and Julika are displayed clearly next to the other romantic couples, and so is Mark and Nathaniel there.
Yep.
That's a Mysticon's move. If you like, they constantly do that with portraying the queer relationship next to the two straight relationships, and this is really legitimizing of the queer relationships. And I think the show again is constantly portraying Rose and Julika as being a legitimate romance. Narc and Nathaniel, that's new. I don't think the show had done that to
they're on my watch list now.
Like the end of Reverser, I think yes, but it was not as overt as they've been with Rose and Julika. But here, I think they're officially canonizing them into the canon of couples. Yeah, that's how that works. Sarah, you were hyped for Mark and Nathaniel. Yes.
Oh, obviously. I mean, come on. That Reverser episode, we knew that they had to get together after that.
And they're hanging out, writing comics, and sitting very close to each other on the stairs. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what else we haven't hit on here. Here's another line from Plog. Well, pretty boy, a new suitor. Okay, Plog.
Okay, Plog.
And then he talks about the Camembert, yeah. I wanted to say, if he weren't here, would it be different between us? Honestly, I can't imagine a world without him. I just want to point this out as subtle foreshadowing for the Adrian death at the end of the season. Coming soon.
Coming soon.
A world without him. Adrian, there will be a world without Adrian because he will be the consequence of the combination wish granted by Gabriel in order to bring his wife back to life. Adrian dies as a consequence, a cliffhanger for season 3.
And they drive that point in even more because imagine like the constant, like they're setting up, I guess, even more of like, they're setting it up even more because Adrian is everywhere and they like constantly make it a point to show all of his like different advertisements, like for especially like the perfume. I think we've seen it in almost every episode, like the perfume advertisement with his face and everything like that. But they like the fact that they like zoom out, show all of the posters once again. I'm like, yep, Adrian's gonna die. This is the end. R.I.P. Adrian.
I think this is like one of the biggest theories in the fandom heading into the finale. I think that the show, you could argue the show has done a lot of this. Like Marinette said this before. I couldn't imagine a world without Adrian. I'm pretty sure this has been an explicit line. You can imagine this. You could argue this has been foreshadowing for a long time now from the show.
I agree.
I'm not prepared for this. I'm already upset.
Well, get prepared. Finale is coming up soon. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. By the way, on a similar serious note, I want to point out that the Marinette calls the food items to feed Tiki magic-aroons.
Magic,
or at least that's what the subtitle is. I don't know, but yeah, magic-aroons.
Magic-aroons. What were they? The magic ladybugs.
Okay, don't get me started on magic ladybugs, April. I have a lot of feelings about magic ladybugs, okay?
The magic ladybugs make everything better, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Okay, another stupid part is Marinette Lucky Charms for a bag of salt.
Okay, this is one of the moments that I had like a small problem with the episode because we get the bag of salt and I'm like, yes, salt melts ice. And then she's like, okay, like, and then she just starts whispering the plan into it. Like, we didn't get the ladybug vision, so I felt super lost whenever
there was no vision. Yeah, that was very notable.
It's obvious. Because the salt just
this is the most obvious Lucky Charm. I Lucky Charm. A tissue. How is this going to help me solve? No, it's a bag of salt because you salted the ice that's been melted all over Paris. This is the most straightforward Lucky Charm ever.
It's straightforward, but I didn't like the part that I felt lost was when we started randomly moving like a ladder and then a car.
Yeah, I don't know how we really use the salt.
And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, I was like, okay, I understood the bag of salt. Like that. I guess sense.
Was Adrian salting to get the ladder free because we had to like. You like flung the ladder in order to put him in the air and then Cataclysm the skate.
I wish I could have at least seen that the plan involved the ladder. I feel like they may have.
We've established that April is very attached to Ladybug Vision.
I am. I like to know what's going on.
Do you think they tried to do it and like couldn't animate it in time or something? Is that what you're saying?
That's my guess. Is because
there's like this episode has already taken 2 years to make. Cut the Ladybug Vision. Like
that was like the hardest part to animate.
Well, what is it? They were
just put some dots on things.
They already like done the Ladybug Vision. It was the last thing that they were waiting on, and then at the end they were like, "This episode is is 24 minutes. Like, we have to cut something. And they're like, well, we have to keep the transformation sequences. So clearly we need to sacrifice the Ladybug version. And they're like, the fans will get it, what we're doing with the ladder and the truck.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, it didn't really matter. Yeah, there's a truck. I don't even know what. It doesn't. Half the time, it doesn't make sense anyway. So who cares? Whatever. It was
at least whenever it takes place, I'm like, oh, I get it now. I did not get that moment. I was like, I guess this is what we're doing.
Yeah, those were the least notable parts of the episode, but I still think were fantastic. All the action ice skating parts, except for
I also really liked the Frozer, I guess, his design, even though.
He looked really cool, actually.
Yeah, he looked super cool. He looked like ice, and like there was like one point where like they have like the glare kind of from the light that like shines off him, and then you can see sort of like that like ice texture on his skin. And I was like, okay, I understand why this episode took so long. I get it. I see.
Okay, you know what I like about Frozer? It's that he doesn't have a ridiculous catchphrase.
Yes.
By the power vested in me, you will join my ice rink. Yeah.
Also, can we talk about the fact that chat was like, I'm gonna go with my feline instincts and I'm gonna observe and hunt my prey. And I was like, you already know where he is. He is at the Eiffel Tower. Why?
Yeah, I was going to know that he does. He freezes all of Paris, starting with the Eiffel Tower. Yes, obviously,
and then and exactly, which was why I was like, you already know where he is. Like Ladybug was like, I'm going to the Eiffel Tower. I know where he is. And Cat's like, I'm going to observe him, and I'm like, observe him what? Hang out at the Eiffel Tower? Like you.
Yeah. Pro tip, Cat and Ladybug, go to the Eiffel Tower first. That's where the villain is. Yeah. Okay.
That's where that's
a good point. It's a good point. Last thing I want to note is the music behind the fake out daydream sequences. I think it's fantastic. I thought that was like really great new music for the show.
I think my favorite music was like in that
Lucas music. When Lucas played music. Sarah, I know your favorite music is what your heart speaks to me.
No.
Oh no, that wasn't it.
Oh.
No, I was trying to say, where it was so rudely interrupted, was that it's when that opening like about on like the rooftop where like they're having that conversation between Ladybug and Cat Noir and like she's all like, oh, I can't imagine a world without him. I thought there's piano and strings and it was just so emotional. I thought it was just really beautiful and great.
Yeah, I think that might be. I think it's the same music at the end. We can double check that, but yeah,
it might be.
Yeah, the daydream music, exactly. Yeah, I think it's really great. Should be noted. It starts at the end during the Luka Marinette scene, and then continues to the Adrian part. Luka's included, and not just saying. Okay, April. Final thoughts on Frozen.
Frozen was a great episode. I'm really like this was great. It was a lot of fun, and I loved all of the drama. I lived for it. And yeah, Kagami's still my girl. Plog's still my Kwame.
So you're April. So you're saying if you could choose any Kwame that we've seen in the show, you would choose Plog.
Yes.
It's like he's last pick.
No.
Better, worse than Tiki?
Tiki is creepy.
Exactly.
Tiki is at least like on the ball most of the time. Plog is sitting here talking about Ken Albert.
I'm giving him mad props for that. You're supposed to be in love with Ladybug line.
It was a really good line.
It was really good. It was the truth. Like,
okay.
I was preaching to me, and I bought all of it.
Okay, so April's buying Plog stock. Gotcha.
Yep.
Sarah, final Frozen thoughts.
Yeah, no, this was a really great episode. It definitely was an emotional roller coaster. Loved all of the drama. Luka stans, please don't hate me. It's my opinion, okay? Don't come for me.
The guitar softly plays in the background.
Anyway, but yeah, so I thought, and again, because it had such a great there's all that drama, but it had such great sort of relationship building between Marinette and Adrian behind it. I thought that like we talked about before, it makes this episode really strong.
My final thoughts are that I thought this episode spoke to me, and the way I felt about it was... It was so good.
That sounded like the violin. Did you pick up a new instrument, Luka?
I play all instruments, April. It just I just write new songs about girls all the time.
Do you want to go ice skating sometime?
Only, yeah, April, let's go. The sounds that it makes when I think about ice skating with you is miraculous. No, that's it. Okay, that's it. That's the final thoughts. Let us know what you guys thought of Frozer. The song is it's a girl. I don't know. My name's Marinette. That's the song. Yeah, I'm just a normal girl from it. Yeah, that's the song that it was written by.
Life.
Yeah, it was written by Luka the entire time. Yeah, okay, that was the joke. Okay,
changes my whole opinion of the theme song.
Wow, that won't even make you appreciate Luka that he wrote the theme song. Okay. Let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments on YouTube comments. You come to our Discord, overlyanimated.com/Discord. Yeah, tell us why you love Luka in the comments, and support us via Patreon, patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you to all of our current patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Saga Torres, and thanks as always to our patron executive producers, John Ryan, Steve, Alex, and Hugh. Yeah, they speak to me. And we'll apparently the first part of the finale is airing on Sunday in Switzerland, so if that comes out, we'll be waiting for Miraculous subs, and then we will be covering that. We'll have to, but don't expect right away. We need good subs first. So very excited for Catalyst. Yeah, that's the episode name.
No.
What do you think? What does that make you think of?
Because it sounds too close to Cataclysm.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think of that before.
Too close, man.
Okay, we'll think about that. Too close. Catalyst for Adrian and Marinette's relationship? Maybe.
Or Adrian's death.
Wow. It's happening soon. Okay. Well, probably not in part one.
Why do we have to end with that?
Probably not in part one, yeah. It makes me feel like chicken. But yeah, that's Adrian's death. Yeah, Luka's not. Okay, so that's it. Went way too long on this. I think unsurprisingly, this is our longest Ladybug ever for this episode. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.